Peace.
Peace.
Alright, so for those who don't know what we mean when we say accept or reject, that's dealing with the month of September. Because these teachings is given as is, and it's upon each individual to either accept or reject what is being given. Because this is by choice, it's not by force. It's a natural way of life, and every single man, every single woman, every single child has to choose his culture for themselves. So here, dealing today, one of our cultural tenets is we build on supreme mathematics. So like I say, today's being September 28, 2025, which is wisdom, build or destroy, and the wisdom at a cipher, wisdom power mile. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. And wisdom is your words, ways, and actions. Build means to add on, destroy means to take away. So everything we do is in a fashion where we elevate things to its highest state, and anytime we break something down or we take something away, we was taught to replace it with something of equal or greater value. So y'all see right now, we ain't got the flag up. That's because the old flag that we had, we gonna go ahead and retire that. That's historical now.
Right.
Because, and like I said, we take something away, we gotta replace it with something of equal or greater value. So this past, over the past weekend, last week, I had went out to Now Why, and I had spent some time in Medina, specifically with one of the flag makers in our nation by the name of Saquon. Now, it's only been 3 flag makers in our nation that's been ordained to do anything with our universal flag. Those 3 people being His Majesty, the other person being Saquon, and then you had True Love, who's ordained to do the shirts. So outside of those 3 people, those are the only ones that's ever been ordained to do anything with our universal flag. So Saquon, being up in his degrees, took upon himself to reach out to us and basically say like, hey God, which one of y'all gonna come and pick the torch up when I'm gone, when I'm no longer here? So I got with the God, and over a course of 3 days, I spent with the God, and he took me from knowledge to born, showing me how to properly manifest our universal flag from a center dot in the center of a canvas all the way to the beautiful flag that we love seeing that's hanging in every city, every state that has ever had a banner made. The ones that we don't, because you know we don't go to the photo places, and people do that. However, the right and exact way is to get the flag made by hand, because that shows and proves that it's right and exact. Every single angle, every single cipher, every single square, every single 7, the crescent, the star, everything is 100% right and exact. Because why? Because we did it right and exact, because we did it by hand, and we did it with our minds and our intelligence, and we did it with our tools. What's our tool? Supreme mathematics, by taking it from knowledge to born properly. So upon me learning the science of how to create our universal flag and put it on a banner, because like I say, once our brother Saquon, who has been holding up the nation in regards to making the banners, especially for the brothers that return to essence, one of the things the brother does is he always makes free banners for those brothers that return to the essence, so that we can remember them properly and them returning to essence. And their family members can have that banner, or their loved ones, whether it be their woman, their children, they can have that banner in their home as a remembrance of the God or the earth, you feel me, or one of the babies, for whatever the case may be. So upon Saquon, whenever it's his time to return to essence, I'm gonna be the person in position to uphold that duty of making the banners for our nation. So that was why I got with Saquon over the course of 2 weeks ago, and learned how to make these banners. So once again, when he returns to essence, it'll be my responsibility to make sure that those brothers that return to essence have a flag, or those ciphers that are getting built or have already been here years, months, and days that need a flag can receive a flag. And it's all done, like I say, 100% right and exact by us, for us. So this is actually the second flag I made. The first flag I made was about this size, you feel me? Probably about like a half a yard lengthwise and a half a yard height-wise. And this flag is the second flag I made that I said I was gonna make for our cipher, because once again, like we was talking about the flag, the flag that we originally had that's always seen in our pictures and our videos, that was the flag that was created when Trueborn Mile first came out here back in 2016, and the guys had got a flag made. So that flag's going on about 10 years old now. So like I said, that's why I say that's going to be a historical flag now, because everyone that knows and never seen our flag, at the bottom it says he and her true known. However, recently over the course of the last couple of miles, specifically 2023 when we held our first Children's Day, the cipher agreed that we would now be known as H-Medina, which is not a new name, as the Southwest has always been considered H-Medina. And Houston was just known as he and her truth as a whole. However, once we held our first Children's Day in H-Medina, specifically the A-Leaf Center off of Bel Air, which is a newly built community center in the heart of A-Leaf, which is a part of the Southwest, we decided, our t-shirt said Children's Day in H-Medina. So after that Children's Day, we decided that we would present ourselves and uphold that H-Medina legacy and the greatness, and salutate our Medina roots by way of Trueborn Mile, who's from Medina, Bed-Stuy, Gates Ave, what they call God's Ave. So we commemorated our Medina roots at that day and time, and we're still upholding that legacy. So I decided to create us a new flag that represents that legacy. And you know, the science of the original man renewing his history every 25,000 years. So it's the year 2025, Wisdom Matter Cipher, Wisdom Power Mile, and now it's time to really bring H-Medina into its full potential, because we're still not there yet. However, we still got much greatness to do. So this is just one of my gifts to the cipher, to let everyone know how much I appreciate y'all and how much I cherish this culture. And when y'all look at this flag, I want y'all to be able to cherish it as well.
Peace. Peace. Yeah, peace.
So like I said, I wanted to create a flag that was one of one, that was special for me to make for y'all. And when y'all look at it, y'all be able to cherish it. And like I said, it'll really describe H-Medina to the root. That's why it has H-Medina at the top. It has the tribe of Jabbar as well at the top, because that's the science of the 13th tribe. And there's many people that will question, because they never got the science of the tribe of Jabbar, and they think this might just be a teaching that only we teach, which is false. The science of the tribe of Jabbar was manifested by the 13th man himself, who was known as Allah, who presented and shown and proved he was Allah to his sons in the first 9 borns of Mecca and the 15 firstborns of Medina. And Medina was known as the land of understanding, because that's where Allah came and brought the knowledge of understanding. And Allah broke down the science of the tribe of Jabbar to one of our great brothers, who was actually the architect of our flag, by the name of Universal Sham God Allah. And the science of the tribe of Jabbar, why it has so much confusion tied in it, because people didn't get these teachings, simply because many people were not around our brothers in these early ciphers, as well as a lot of these teachers went over brothers' heads, because brothers was looking for things like mysteries. We learned in the 10th degree that we lose no time searching for that which does not exist.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of people search for that which does not exist, because they're literally looking for a physical tribe called Jabbar, a lost tribe called Jabbar. The science of the tribe of Jabbar is they was never lost and found. It's the science of us being 5%ers and us not being Muslims. Because the science of the tribe of Jabbar is we are the ones that never fell a victim. And all throughout the history of Islam, of living mathematics, you've always had those that went astray, and you had those that never went astray. The science of the tribe of Jabbar deals with the science of the intellectual warriors, those that had the intelligence, the mental capacity, as well as the physical capabilities to maneuver through time and space accordingly and never fall victim to any shape, form of reality that presented itself. They was always the cream that rose to the top. When you break down the science of the word tribe, not T-R-Y, T-R-I is rooted in the origins of three 3 in our supreme mathematics is understanding. B means to exist. That means the understanding exists of supreme and living mathematics within the minds of the 5% nation. That's what makes us intellectual warriors. That's what makes us the tribe of Jabal, because we're the only nation that understands the science of living mathematics, and we show and prove it by being able to carry it out every single day, each and every moment, each and every second. So in the name of Allah, you justice, because Allah was the man, like I say, that founded his nation, and justice was his right-hand man. So that's why I painted Allah right there, as well as justice. And one of our mottos here in H-Medina, which our brothers was taught out there in Now Why and other ciphers that they've always been taught, was the science of keeping it simple and teaching it real. That's why we're so successful, not just out here, but every other cipher that's a part of us and connected with us, and it's a 5% that's a part of this tribe of Jabal. Because if you truly say you're a 5%er, then guess what? You're dealing with the tribe of Jabal, because that's what Allah manifested. That's not a separate thing dealing with tribalism. That's dealing with the intelligent warriors that know the science of living mathematics, and who's able to keep it simple and teach it real, and born these teachers alive into the minds of the 85%, and specifically the at-risk youth who need these teachings, and it helps them grow and elevate in life. So we got the H-Medina tribe of Jabal, in the name of Allah, you justice. Y'all already know the science of the universal flag. We got the H-Medina skyline in the back, because that's where we at. The name is as good as gold. And once again, we talk about the tribe of Jabal and H-Medina, we're talking about the science of the intellectual warriors. Now, if you pay closer attention to the flag, you'll see a bunch of stars covering the background as well. Now, these stars are not random or by coincidence. These stars, if you was to count them out, you would actually count out 28 stars in total. These 28 stars that I put on this flag actually represent one of all cultural tenets that every 5%er is supposed to know, being a part of this nation and saying they're a 5%er. What's the cultural tenet I'm talking about? The science of the 28 galaxies and the 13 universe. Because I said it earlier, every single man, every single woman, every single child has to choose this culture for themselves. These 28 galaxies, I should say, also represent the 28 babies that was born in the name of Allah here in H-Medina. Back in 2023, whenever we presented the children with our Children's Day flag with the 16-point flag on it, and it said in the name of the children, it had 28 babies' names on the flag. So this flag is also a representation of those 28 children that was born in the name of Allah here in Houston, Texas, which we know is H-Medina. And that's why I put Houston, Texas at the bottom, so anyone, even the uncivilized people at 85 could come by and know and understand that we're talking about Houston, Texas. Anytime they see H-Medina, anytime they see the tribe of Jabal, anytime they see anything within the name of Allah, they know that science. Anytime they see that universal flag, they know that these teachings have been planted here in Houston, Texas. And we represent it as so by coming what? H-Medina. Like I say, I had a great time creating this flag. I fast and build that y'all have a great time upholding the flag. Because now that it's been presented, now it's our duty to uphold everything that's on this flag, which we've been doing, but we have to continue doing. Because like I say, the original man renews his history every 25,000 years. The average person to tell you that one day the man is like 1,000 years to God. Well, I'm here telling you, our the man is like 1,000 years to Allah God, the original man who has the proper knowledge of himself. Because the science of that deals with our planet traveling at the rate of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour. Upon a full rotation on its axis, that 24,896, approximately 25,000 miles, we must renew our history each and every day, in each and every way. See, that was taught in our enlightenment for those who have that cultural tenet as well, that every 5%er should know. So this is a science of why I made this flag and why I made it the way I did, because I wanted to highlight some of our key points and what we uphold and represent here in H-Medina. And that deals with the science of being intellectual warriors, being 5%ers, and keeping it simple and teaching it real. From the darkest of the black to the lightest of the yellow, you feel me? Showing and proving that Allah is God over everything. And those 8 rains, if you didn't know, that deals with the science of the 5%ers, specifically the 3 seeds of perfection: the knowledge seed, the wisdom seed, and the understanding seed, being able to bring the news all across the planet Earth. Because that's our duty, to teach, 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 and teach some more. I'm gonna say peace.
Hey.
Back in my hometown, right? There was no guidance where I was from. No guidance at all. None of the guards there, you know? I met one guard out there, and he was not writing exact. But I would thank that guard for sparking me and actually sending me and actually giving me the knowledge, giving me that spark to actually push further and research and look for brothers that I need to know. So I got on the internet. I started reaching out to brothers. I came across one of my brothers that come from my hometown by the name of Born Logic. He out there in San Antonio, right? South Asia. So God, Born Logic, he made knowledge born to me about H-Medina. He said, this is where you moving to. You need to get with the gods. True Born Allah is out there. Self-Savior Allah is out there. Shah-Born is out there. All the gods is out there. These are the gods that was the original gods that was here. Before we see all these gods on earth here today, these are the original gods that was here, that brought forth this nation and actually spread the teachings the way it needs to be. So when I came out here, that's exactly what I did. I reached out to my big brother, True Born Allah. First thing he said is like, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Who are you? Because knowledge is the foundation, right? Who means to identify. So I need to know what you are, who you are, where you are, why you here, all of that, right? So that's where the investigation come in at. Because knowledge is the foundation. So we need to get to know our brothers and sisters, you know? And when he told me to come to the rally, that's exactly what I did. That's when we was at the Shape Center. My babies, I only had my one baby at the time, which is my Amun. Y'all all know her, you know? My 2 babies, Jaki, Born Allah, and Messiah, Prince. They was born here in H-Medina. Beautiful thing, because they was brought up under this flag right here, y'all. You know, when this flag was presented to them, it was like, come on now. They knew that this was it, because they come here every day and they play with their brothers and their little sisters, because that's what this is about. It's for them. It ain't for us, it's for them. It's for us to give it to them. And if it's good for us to give it to them right and exact, you know? Because if they don't have it, what we doing here? What is this nation gonna be about? How's it gonna grow and develop into what it needs to be? Son, peace, God. That's what this is about, God. See my mind? That's what
Peace, God.
Wisdom is discernment as well, right? Build or destroy. That's positive and negative. I want to add on all positive, remove all negative from my cipher, right? So when I came out here, I was working at a barbershop. The guys know. When we was there, it was not right and exact. They were spreading false teachings. They don't know what the hell they was talking about. A whole bunch of Christians that don't know what they talking about. So we came in there and burnt everybody alive. That's how we do. To the point where I said, you know what? This ain't the place for me to build, because this ain't mine. I gotta be the making owner of my own reality. So I took it upon myself, with the gods gave me the knowledge that I have right now, took it from knowledge to born, because they gave me supreme mathematics, which is the best thing anybody can have, right? And I took it upon myself to research what I need to do to own my own barbershop. And that's what I got to this day. Peace. Peace. So anybody that want to come to the barbershop and come build, come. It's all open. Anybody can come there. It's mine, it's yours. That's how it go. Whatever mine is yours, that's how we go in here. Especially when it comes to Allah's mathematics. That's what it is. So I'm going to show y'all the way, just like y'all showed me the way. Because that's what equality is to share with your brother what made you and got you the way where you got to be. And I know y'all gonna do the same thing for me, because that's what we here for. You know, to add on. Wisdom, build, or destroy. What you gonna choose? You gonna choose to build consistently, or you gonna destroy your own damn self? Come on, that's the reality we live in every day, y'all. So that's what I choose every day. I've got to build with my babies because them the ones I first see when I wake up. Matter of fact, they waking me up. Ask Prince, he jumping on my neck every morning. He waking me up. Come on, God, we want to go to the park. That's how he say. He say park. You know, because I had to teach him. I said, listen, you got to sound. You got to make sure your words is. You say what you mean what you say, and stand on it. Stand on your square at all times. That's what we do. Right over left, right? Peace.
Peace.
Hey.
I come in the righteous name of Master Rule all law. Master meaning having dominion and control. Rule is the order of the universe for supreme mathematics. Today's date is September 28th, 2025. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. And how I see it is pretty much through my ways and actions is how I build and destroy the negativity in any cipher that I'm a part of, shit. And the rules, laws, and regulations that I live by is supreme mathematics. And as long as I take everything from knowledge to born, shit, I'm gonna be successful in all my endeavors. Peace.
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 I come in the righteous name of self-ruler. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom, build, and destroy. I see that for myself is, in this culture, healthy, strong, and good breeders. You know what I'm saying? Healthy in the aspect, what are we putting in our mind? What are we putting in our bodies? You know what I'm saying? We keep everything real, and all is real. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, no white women, no swine, no heroin. I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Moor, I'm a 5%er. I'm a lot of God. Peace.
Peace. Go ahead, Kasha. Say peace, God.
You finna build?
Yeah, you gonna build? Go ahead, take your time, let it out. Okay.
Mommy, okay.
Yeah, peace to Allah, right? Exactly, the 5%. What's that? Your universal flag. Yeah, that's yours. Look at it.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace to the gods, man. I come in the righteous name of Savior our divine. H-Medina. Last time I was in this center, it was here, and that's true. But I got the sound travel, you know what I'm saying? I got the news, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say salute, you know what I'm saying, and peace. Y'all doing a beautiful job, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing it everywhere I turn, everywhere I look. Man, I'm saying God be God, you know what I'm saying? And that don't happen by accident, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, energy at rest don't move, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless somebody act upon it, you know what I'm saying? That's when you get sparked. Today, mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. Wisdom is your ways, words, and actions. Wisdom is the application of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So, we get active, you know what I'm saying, by rooted in what we know. You know what I'm saying? We don't just drop, move, you know what I'm saying? Like we do the knowledge and then move, you know what I'm saying? So that we can produce an understanding that we traveling in the right direction. That's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Build or destroy. Build is to add on. You know what I'm saying? Destroy is to take away. You know what I'm saying? Now build or destroy for me, I always put me in the mind of justice being the pillar of the war. You know what I'm saying? So you got positive, you got negative. You know what I'm saying? And positive and negative both can't occupy the mind at the same time. You know what I'm saying? There's normally one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But energy is creative no matter whether it's positive or negative. So build or destroy, you know what I'm saying? I always put me in the mind frame that both energies are creative and you use whichever one is necessary to accomplish your goal. You know what I'm saying? Like negative energy is necessary. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? We build or destroy, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what's necessary at the time. You know what I'm saying? Every man got to swim his own 9,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? So when you step on, when you step up to the plate, you know what I'm saying? It's up to you to be God, to be the maker and the owner. You know what I'm saying? We create our own reality. You know what I'm saying? And we want to be intelligent with the way where we build and how we destroy. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what's necessary to complete our goals. That's peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.
Peace in the name of law and justice. In the name of law and justice. I come in the name of serious mathematics of law, the universal savior of self and the universal savior of humanity. Mathematics is Islam, and Islam is mathematics, and in self lies Allah's living mathematics. Allah is the supreme of all beings. It's also our family name. This is the month of September 28, 2025. The born month. This is the 9th month, right? My brother already said it. Accept it or reject it. Accept it, born alive. Reject it, born dead. Simple. Accept it, you're born alive. Reject it, you're born dead. Today is wisdom, build or destroy. Simple how I see that. Wisdom is a double-edged sword. It brings forth life and it brings forth death. Depending on what you throw up in the atmosphere. That's your mind. Build or destroy. Build is to add on. Destroy is to take away. It's a necessary process to destroy. Why? In order for growth, in order of civilization. In order for something to live, something must die. Simple. That's the reason why we keep it simple and teach it real. You know, I mean, it's a beautiful thing what Lord Almighty has done right here. When I look at this, I'm just, yo, man, hey, this is it right here. This is it. That's our flag, as the man said, right? This is it, for real. I mean, hey, I can keep on talking. It's self-explanatory. Let's go out there and teach. Be those universal saviors. There's a community out there right now. They're on life support. How do we bring that life back to them? All we got to do is come together and teach. There's some youngins right there, lost, don't know where to go. All we got to do is come here. I got you. Hold my hand. That's the nonprofit. That's what we got here. H-Medina Youth Office, that's what we got here. Everything we got here. Why? Because we're a universal family. And all minds is what? One. No separations, none of that. We keep it simple, teach it real. Peace!
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 I can't hear you. Peace!
Peace!
There it goes.
I am self-savior. Self, the said person, and that ability. Savior, the one who unveils, reveals. Allah, one of those. I am one of those. Peace. I am here to tell y'all something today, man, about this flag. This beautiful flag, my brother. Born Almighty. Man.
Yeah.
Let's go back to this. Keep it simple, teach it real. So let me simplify it. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom, build or destroy. You hear, brothers, all minds is one. Wisdom, wise ways, words, actions, right? Build or destroy, add on, take away, peace. Let's go again. Wisdom is our ability to tolerate that which is indifferent and love the blind. Wisdom is to teach. Wisdom is discipline. What else is wisdom? Wisdom is our ability to take a thought and to bring it into fruition. Build, add on, destroy, take away. All right. Build or destroy. It's our ability to take nothing and to make something. Destroy. It ain't gotta be negative. Throw the bullshit away. Destroy that. And I'm gonna give you something of equal and greater value. You know what that is? What he taught the 13th man. And those 28 goddesses and those 13 universes. And all those young brothers that he gave this to, who gave it to the brother that gave it to me. They gave it to the brother that gave it to them. Shout out to True Born Mind Love, who taught me something that I'm gonna share with y'all today.
He said, ask for what you want. Honor all agreements. Keep your word. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Because guess what? A lie ain't shit to tell. But the truth, it may come across harsh, but you need it. What's the focal point? When you open your mouth, what's the focal point? What are you trying to deliver? Is it a message or is it some mayhem? Is it something that's worth something, of value, or is it something that we can't use? The choice is yours. It starts here by first wisdom, which is the application of what? Knowledge. Knowledge is evidence of reality. So wisdom is that thing in fruition that we take and we give to them so they could be the best. To build them up and to destroy anything that's in their way. And with that, I say peace.
Peace.
I just want to say it's beautiful being out here and seeing so many brothers gather together. You know, I didn't know it was moving like this. You know what I mean? But here was talking about wisdom, build or destroy. You know, I came with a purpose which I feel like it's been instilled in me to share my wisdom. So I feel like everything that I'm hearing today is in alignment. You know, just to show some things through my struggles that I went through, but through going through these struggles, I learned a lot. You know what I mean? And so I just want to share that knowledge, you know, with the brothers and stuff like that, and with no expectation, with nothing from it, but just to share it. Pure intent. You don't see that too much in this society, in this world. You know what I mean? So I love us. I love us. You know what I mean? I want to see us get to the level that we're supposed to be in all levels, in all aspects. You know, from here to the youth. You know, and then when I hear destroy, I think about breaking those barriers down that's preventing us from getting to that space. So I'm gonna be here. You know, well, if y'all welcome me here, I'm gonna be here. You know, whether it's weekly or monthly, I'm gonna definitely be in attendance. You know, so I just want to, you know, let y'all know I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Sharp going in from law. Peace. Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you and salute to everyone that came here to our universal rally, and also for your work, putting everybody beautiful flag for our brother going on my law. Today's supreme mathematics is wisdom built or destroyed. Being wise, being able to build or destroy and stay on top of the eight is what we do at all times. If you look at this flag, it's particularly designed with everything that we're about is on there and more. So that once again, I want to salute the brother, man. That's a beautiful flag. We're going to definitely uphold this flag here in H-Medina. Everyone said what they said. I'm happy for the babies. I'm happy for the brothers and sisters that came. And once again, I want to say peace and enjoy the rest of the day and build strong, continue to build, continue to be righteous individuals through all endeavors, all right? Peace.
Peace.
You want me to do it for you?
Peace. Peace.
Hey!
Peace. Peace.
I come in the name of Amo Mathematics, and today's theme mathematics is wisdom and destroying. How I see that is it's just using your words to add on and take away things that's bad and good. Because if you want to take out things that's negative, that's a good thing, because when you take out things that's negative, it helps you improve and grow. And then when you add on things positive, it helps you improve your mindset. So it's like eating food that's natural stuff like fruits and vegetables, it helps your mind grow and it helps you make you more intellectual. And then when you eat things that's bad for you, like chips and junk food, it's like it brings you down and makes you sound and make you slow. That's how it's speak.
Peace.
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 I don't have a righteous name. It's my first time out here. Maybe talks with serious mathematics. So I'm here to just kind of build on the knowledge that I already have, just for the betterment of myself, my daughter, and Queen right there.
Peace.
So that's pretty much what I'm here for. We're not a man of many words, more so a man of action. So that's pretty much what's going on here. All right, peace.
Peace.
Now I'm gonna add on again, just briefly for those that's new in the cipher, because when I wrote down the flag, it was just simply to give everyone a presentation of what was going on and also why we have the flag and the new flag that was presented. But I want to properly introduce myself to those who don't know who I am and who are meeting me and my brothers and sisters for the first time, and where we are at and what this is. You may have heard our brothers mention it. This is the 5% Nations Universal Rally in H-Medina, which is Houston, Texas. And I come in the righteous name of Born Almighty Allah. Born simply means to be complete. That doesn't mean without flaw. It does mean perfection. However, the perfection that is being amplified is now one of no mistakes being made or no errors being corrected. What it tells is the science of being complete. That's what makes one perfect as a person, being born alive physically as being well as born alive mentally. Everyone gets born alive physically whenever they go through the stages of birth and they're brought into the physical world. However, not many actually overcome the obstacle of being born alive mentally. And one of the things that helped me achieve being born alive in the mind was the science of supreme mathematics that was manifested by a man whose name was Allah. And that manifestation actually took place approximately around from 1963 to 1964 in Harlem, New York, which became known as Mecca, because that's where the knowledge and wisdom of the original man first started when this nation was first founded by the man named Allah and his right-hand man named Justice. And from that date of 1963, 1964, all the way to in Harlem, New York, all the way to the date of 2025, Houston, Texas, here we are in H-Medina, paying salutations and tribute to the man that made all this possible and saved many lives, and in turn, those children, those youth, saved other youth who became great men who was able to save youth, and it was a continuous cycle of greatness that took place, and that's the legacy that we aim, we strive, and that we uphold, not just here in H-Medina, but any cipher around the world that you see or hear come in the name of Allah and the 5% Nation. Because this is our duty as poor righteous teachers, is to teach all those who do not know the science of who they are, the origins of this world, right from wrong, and to teach them the proper way to go about not just doing things, but actually living. Because everyone is alive in the sense of being physically present. However, not everyone is here mentally, and everyone isn't actually living up to their fullest capabilities and their potential. Like the God mentioned earlier, you have the science of dormant energy, which is at rest. And the only way that energy is able to be activated or become in motion is it has to be activated. The science of energy being activated, it has to be activated within oneself. That's why we call this the knowledge of self, because it's the self-activation that must go on in a person's mind of not just them choosing themselves and realizing that they're their own savior, but them choosing the science of furthering life in general and teaching others and upholding civilization and righteousness. Civilization just basically means one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. That just basically means one having the knowledge to go about and learning how to do things properly. And in knowing and learning how to do things properly and taking things through trial and error, they begin to formulate an understanding from that repetitious cycle of formulas of knowing and applying and comprehending, which is the understanding. Does one begin to live a righteous way of life, which comes naturally, which is our culture, which since one has knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and culture, refinement obviously has to take place, because there's no way you can live a natural way of life without refining the things that are unnatural first. These are the things that keep us grounded in being civilized people and not being savages, meaning we lose the knowledge of ourselves trying to obtain the things that might be ideal or in perception. Why I say that is because a lot of people lose themselves in today's time chasing things that are actually no good for them, because they might be chasing things like clout, like images, like monetary value that in the end is detrimental to their own well-being. We have the science of everything in life because we know the science of, once again, living mathematics, which helps us know who we are. So once again, going back to my name, born means to be complete. Almighty is the supreme power. In this culture, we say that power is the truth. The truth is that the black man is God once he has the proper knowledge of himself. The truth is when the black woman comes into the awareness of who she is and is able to show her mental and physical capabilities, she is the earth. The truth is that the babies are the greatest, because when the black man who's able to show and prove himself as a law of God and raise his woman up to her fullest quality so she can show and prove herself to be the earth, and they come together and they produce an abundant force of life, then that's the greatest thing that's ever known in the universe. And that's what our universal flag represents. Sun, moon, and stars. Man, woman, and child. And the science of the seven being on top of everything is the science of a law of God being responsible for everything in the universe. They got a saying out there that says Atlas got to carry the weight of the earth. However, a law of God has to carry the weight of the universe. Because when I was talking about that 8 points earlier, what I also would like to mention, an important fact, is these 8 rays actually represent the expansion of an ever-expanding universe. And it also represents the master builder who is able to show and prove that he is all-wise and he is the architect of the universe, and on this wisdom builder destroy day, he is able to utilize those keys, which we call supreme mathematics, specifically the builder destroy key, and he's able to show and prove that one key of build or destroy and utilize each component properly, because build isn't always something positive. It could be negative. Destroy isn't always something negative. It can be positive. However, it takes a wise individual not to get caught up on face value things. And that's the science of why we don't just say we got the knowledge and wisdom. No, we was taught by the 13th man, and we have his mind. So we have the knowledge and understanding. That's what separates us from every other nation. While everyone else is caught up in the knowledge and wisdom, Allah showed and proved to his sons how to take themselves off the clock. And by the clock, I'm talking about that knowledge and wisdom, that limitation that deals with simply just knowing and learning how to do things and not being able to elevate past instructions, but actually being able to bring about not just critical, but create change in no limit of time from the depths of your own mind. So my name simply represents born almighty Allah, the supreme being black man with the proper knowledge of himself. So my name basically represents the universal principle of me bringing the universal truth of the black man being God by being able to be wise and calculated in my ways and actions, and show and prove to others how to properly add on and how to properly destroy when necessary. Because sometimes, depending on the situation, you do both simultaneously, and the reality is when you look at that 8, it's intertwined, because those two components that are mentioned, build or destroy, are codependent, in the sense of, in order to take something away, you got to add some on. Before you add something on, you got to destroy. And like I say, it's not a negative or a positive thing, but it's a thing that requires a wise mind to know when change is needed. Because the top of the 8 deals with growth. The bottom of the 8 deals with development. It's like dealing with anything dealing with construction, whether we talking about a plan, whether we talking about a habit, whether we talking about a mindset, a lifestyle, a relationship, whatever the case is, the science of everything in life is, as times change, so must you. That doesn't necessarily mean change who you are, as in your morals or your principles, especially if they're right and exact. What it means is, as times change, as climate change, as the atmosphere changes, and you step into new realities, you're gonna have to be able to be wise and intelligent enough to transition, not just in a place or a manner where you're barely being afloat or surviving, but you're thriving. We're progressive. That's why I said earlier, this culture is not by force. It's not oppressive. It's progressive in the sense of the manner of that we don't just stay stagnated or at rest. We are actually activating that full potential. We turn potential energy into kinetic energy. And the science of wisdom, like my brother said earlier, is being able to teach. And not just being able to teach, but also a wise man's ability to be able to learn. Being able to know and tell ourselves when we don't know something, which allows us the opportunity to go to the drawing board and learn new things. That in turn helps elevate our mindsets, that helps elevate our ciphers, our families, our communities. These things are important steps in living mathematics. As my brother spoke on earlier as well, serious mathematics dealing with the science of wisdom, build or destroy, in the sense of being born alive or being born dead, being accepted or being rejected, deals with the science of you qualifying yourself or disqualifying yourself in regards to if you took things through the proper steps of living mathematics, of taking things from knowledge to born properly, or if you didn't take it from knowledge to born properly and your plan didn't go, it went disaccord to how you wanted it to go. But all that means is you have to take it back to the drawing board. Now, some things you can come back from. Some things are swift and changeable. Other things aren't. Other things might be concrete and you might just have to deal with. However, this is the science of us being wise and civilized individuals and being righteous in all our affairs, because righteous doesn't mean holy. It doesn't mean without flaw. Righteous means our ability to do everything right and exact, by doing the knowledge first and then applying the facts to reality, to how things are supposed to be, not how we want them to be or how we feel they should be, but how we know they have to be. And then we take them through the proper mode of levels of living mathematics, from knowledge to wisdom, understanding, culture, power, equality, a law of God, build or destroy. Then they become born alive, and then we're able to add on to the cipher, the people, the places, and the things within ourselves and then outside our own circumference. And this is the part of nation building. This is the science of what I mentioned earlier when I talked about the Z, when I talked about the north, the east, the west, and the south. And that might have confused some people that's not familiar with the language, so I just want to explain that real briefly. Is the science of traveling from north to east to west to south, because once again, this is the way the original man displays his intelligence of being able to spread the news across the planet Earth, because the science of that Z and our supreme alphabets deals with the travels of the civilized as they learn and teach. That learning and teaching isn't always going to be a straight path. it's going to be obstacles where you're going to have to avert your energy in different directions in a proper manner, because those Z's also represent what? Angles. But that final Z, that last angle, is actually the completion of those trials and errors, of that learning experience, of you perfecting a method of bringing something to existence or completion. And see, this is the proper way that we utilize our supreme alphabets. What we mean by keep it simple and teach it real. Because we don't get up here and try to say, oh, well, today is this day, so this is the alphabet. And this is the reason why. Because once again, today's date is what? September 28, 2025. For everyone that likes to play with alphabets, well, what's today's alphabet? It is none. So at that point in time, you just limited our supreme alphabets. However, that's only if you're doing it from a mathematical standpoint, because alphabets don't have a numerical value. And anyone with the proper knowledge and understanding knows and understands this, because this is what makes supreme alphabets not just flexible, but supreme, because you travel from A to Z back to A to Z indefinitely, because supreme alphabets is the language of the land. These are the way we draw things up in description. Supreme mathematics is the language of the universe. This is the way things are drawn up in creation, as in the complete process and method in which things are brought into existence properly in their correct form and order. So we have supreme mathematics, which is why we say today's mathematics is wisdom built or destroyed. This is why we here in H-Medina keep it simple and teach it real. We don't say 2 + 8 is 10. We could, however, realistically speaking, it wouldn't be a reality, because we're dealing with the 28th. If your light bill is due in the 28th, you're not going to tell yourself it's the 10th and neglect your responsibilities. You're going to acknowledge that it's the 28th and that your light bill needs to get paid. Otherwise, guess what happens? Now your home has no lights because you neglected your responsibility and replacement for a false sense of reality, which isn't what we do. We was taught to teach it simple and keep it real, so the youngest or the dumbest in the room can comprehend and interpret everything that's being said, or something that's being said, and being able to walk away with the best part that they was able to take from, and actually go back in their way of life and utilize that, even if they don't ever come back. That's how real we have to teach it, and how simple we have to give it, in order for the youth especially to be able to comprehend the messages we're trying to convey to them, and the instructions and directions we're trying to lead and guide them with. And this is why we are so successful in garnering the youth and captivating the youth when we go out and we go into these communities like the CUNY homes, Wesley Squares, or whether we go into other places where we deal with other people's youth, like New York, Black Medina, wherever. And we're able to come amongst the youth, and they're able to know who the gods is just by our ways and actions, where we don't have to simply say, hey, the gods is here. Something as simple as communicating with them, being affectionate, and being able to relate to them, and being able just to build with them, shows and proves to them who we are. Like I say, because God is not something spooky or mysterious. The science of the true and living God just means good, orderly direction. The science of Allah God is the supreme good, orderly direction that is given every second, every moment, in everyday life. So once again, like my brother Shaborn said, thank you everyone that came out, that's always been coming out, and to all the new people that came out. We fast and build to see y'all consistently as well, and y'all watch as we continue to elevate as a nation, as a people, as a family, as a community, and we gonna keep teaching it simple, and we gonna keep kicking it real. Peace.
Peace.
That's right.
This video was brought to you by the 5% Nation and H-Medina and the H-Medina Media Group.
That's right.